Welcome to Smash Writing, and we are back with another episode of Remake, Original versus Remake. I'm Paul, this is Justin, and today we are talking about
The Thing!
The Thing. And the original was called The Thing from Another World.
The Thing from Another World, which was from 1951, versus The Thing, which was from 1982.
As we all know, we decided which one did it better. Yeah. You know, let's go. Let's just talk about the plot to the original.
Alright, the original opens up with a group of soldiers at a bar. A reporter comes in. They're all having a good time. And the captain gets called away. There's been a crash up in Alaska, I believe it was, or the North Pole. And they're being sent up to go investigate it on the request of Dr. Carrington. We get up there and everyone's meeting everyone else. There's a woman up there that has past history with Pat. They're having a good time, and he finally gets to Carrington. He goes, there's a crash up here, and it's nothing like any they've ever seen before. So they go out and see what it is, and it's a flying saucer. So they try to melt the ice around it and end up blowing up the ship. But they managed to save a body that had made it out. And they cut it out in the chunk of ice because there's a big snowstorm moving in. So they get the ice back to the base. And he's got his men. No one's allowed to touch it. Scientists want to start defrosting it and see what it is. But they're like, no, you're going to wait for our superiors to find out. Well, the reporter's losing his mind because he wants to cover the story. But during their 2-hour shifts of watching this, the one guy decides that it's his best interest to cover him up with the blanket, the electric blanket that's plugged in. And the alien gets to thawed, starts wrecking havoc, starts wrecking dogs left and right, and he escapes.
Yes.
And so they start looking through the space for it, and the doctor realizes that he'd been in the greenhouse. But they don't tell anybody because they want to communicate with this creature because they find that this alien is like plant-based. It grows. You can't kill it by normal means. He's more plant than human. And he's still wrecking havoc. He's killing people left and right. And they try to catch him on fire, and it doesn't do much because he jumps out of a window into the snowstorm. But they finally managed to finish him off with electricity. And they put him down. Day is saved. All is good. Now, there's a quick rundown of the movie.
Yeah, because there's a whole lot of talking, over here, in this room, that room, oh my God.
Now, I'll give you this, because I really enjoyed the chemistry between the characters. When they weren't talking about the science stuff, when they were just back and forth joking around with each other, like you get that a lot with Nikki and the captain.
Yeah.
And then a few of the closer guys to the captain, like they're constant bickering and constant belittling and joking with one another. I thought that was really fun. They do really build up a good chemistry between them. I love the scene where the Thing barrels down the one door and he storms in and everyone just starts throwing Molotovs and kerosene at him, and he's just wrecking havoc when he's on fire. That was a really fun scene, especially for 1951.
Right.
I think that's fun. Like, we gotta remember this 1951.
We watched films in the 30s that was.
Yeah. But in between all the fun bits I just talked about, there was a whole lot of just.
And the amount of time that you spent describing those scenes.
Yeah.
That's the total amount of real time in the film. Like, this was an hour and 28 minutes or so?
Well, I don't remember. But I watched this and the other movie back to back, and they were each about the same length.
Okay, so here's the thing was, just the amount, it seemed like they were just always in one damn room.
Yeah.
And they were just always talking. Problem is, like, it didn't seem like there was like any like musical score to it to heighten the
Oh no, there was, because when they were at that craft, I thought the orchestra was going to blow out the speakers on my phone.
It's just
they went with a lot of big orchestra. Shocking. It's like, calm yourself down here. My speaker can't handle this.
I don't know. Like it got to a point of them. I was watching it and it just seems like they were always in the same room talking. I think at one point I was looking at how long I wanted to see how long did we actually start getting the intensified part of the story. I think I was like an hour into it before any type of relevancy picked up. Literally an hour into the film, and these were long scenes. Like there really wasn't like a cut scene to where it's like, oh, we're here in this room for like 30 seconds, and then it goes black like the older films and everything else like that. No, they were like legitimately like having conversation.
Do you know the conversation was over because the monster would show up? Because as soon as they got done, everything they needed to say was out of the way, then the monster would show up. He never showed up in the middle of the conversation. He showed up at the end of the conversation.
And like in all honesty, I get it. You're talking about a film that an alien film in 1951.
What they did with the Geiger counter was really fun.
Okay.
Because they always knew because you hear that beep beep beep. It's like, oh, the alien's coming. It kind of reminded me what they would do in Aliens with the motion sensor. How the motion sensor would pick up the movement of the aliens around them.
Yeah.
They used the Geiger counter here.
I said it.
Well, we'll say like they ran into a lot of those rooms that they should not have been running into. Like the Geiger counter's up to scale. Oh, that's our uranium. I'll see about that. Maybe you should have hurled yourself into that room there, but they probably didn't know in 51.
Yeah, they thought it was just like names and chemicals.
Yeah.
You didn't know what that chemical actually did.
It wasn't until after people got cancer that they were like, oh, we shouldn't have been around this, huh?
Now you watch that film and you're like,
don't go in there, buddy.
You sure the alien is the worst part of this film?
The radiation is off the top of the chair around the saucer. Let's go dig it up.
Winning. I don't know. I did think overall for like a movie that was an hour, I just want to ballpark later, an hour and 25, 28 minutes. The story was such a slow pace. No matter the scenes that you described, no matter how many laughs we
I'm gonna try to earmark that. I'm gonna try to go the slow paced. It wasn't like it was slow building. It was just slow.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's going to be important to differentiate when we get to the remake.
There is two different paces when you're... Yeah.
Because when we get to the remake, it's going to be slow in a different way.
Yeah. So when I'm saying, like, the slow pace, there is nothing that they were building up. They was just talking non-stop.
Like they claimed that they were going to look for the alien, but the alien always just found them in the room. They never found the alien out and about.
Yeah.
I get it at the end when they set up the trap, but at the same time, it's like, To
me, like, it just... Like I said, you were basically an hour into it before you could see, like, anything exciting going on. That first... that hour that I'm watching it, I'm almost starting to lose focus. Because I'm just like, oh my god. These conversations, some of them are something important, sure, whatever. But then most of them were actually just dragging. Extremely dragging. And then honestly, I probably would have maybe liked this a lot more if they just gave me something more in that 1 hour, because after I crossed that 1 hour...
Did you watch this first, or did you watch the remake first?
I watched this first. The way how everything played out, I watched this film first. So...
I was taken back by this movie, because I watched...
You watched the original?
I watched the remake like 15, 20 years ago. And I didn't watch the original until we were getting ready for this.
Right. And usually that's the case, like how we've been doing these movies. Generally,
we've seen the remake first.
We've seen the remakes first, and then we're going back to watch originals to be able to even talk about them both. But this is the first time that I didn't watch neither, so...
Despite my consistent yelling that you should watch the remake.
Yes, but then it all played out. See how it finishes in the end?
Just wait for me to make you watch it.
But that is...
The original.
That is the original.
Final grade.
You go first.
B.
What?
I'm giving it a B. I'm not insulted by the pacing. It could have been much, much better. But I'm looking at this through a 1951's glass. It was very limited on what you can do with it. And this was just a fine little alien movie.
I'll be honest with you, I'm giving it a D. I agree. Like, I get it. It's 1951. Totally get it.
And I really love that scene where the thing barged into that room. That was a really, really
And
fun
honestly,
scene.
like, in my notes, like, the final part, like, there are scenes and everything else like that saved it, but the overall product was just, I don't want to say complete trash. I get it, 1951, but you still got to give me something. You're just talking in rooms.
That scene when they opened the door to the greenhouse and he just slugged at him through the door.
Like I said, there are moments in the film, but still, like, that first hour of an hour and 28-minute movie just kind of killed me.
I like the fun back and forth between the characters, like I was saying. When they weren't talking about the thing, when they were just talking about life in general and everything.
And I totally get that, but like I said, give me something with the plot. Build up something. There was no building and just kind of fell flat to me.
Yeah.
And like I said, we were reviewing enough films from the 30s that are superior.
Well, like, me and you, our grade scales are very different, too. You just have to entertain me and I'll give you a B.
That is true. I'll look into, like, every little dissect moment.
If there's problems, you get a C. If I can still have fun with it, you'll get a C.
And my scale is, if I can't even watch it, it's incomplete.
If I'm not blatantly insulting your movie, you'll get a D. Now, when I start insulting your movie on the regular, the Requiem, you're getting an F. You destroy a franchise I love, like the Wishmaster, you're getting an F Wishmaster through the door.
Let's not talk about those dark times.
But anyway, to the remake.
Yes, go. Oh, this probably could have kept me up more last night instead of putting me to sleep. But go give us the rundown.
The movie kicks off with Norwegians shooting at a husky.
I did not get that.
You didn't get it till about halfway through, huh?
Yeah. Wait, was like the opening scene like a scene that should be in the middle of the film?
No, that dog is the thing.
I figured that part out, but like for that opening scene, first off, he wasn't even fucking coming close to hitting the dog.
Well, yeah, he's in a shaky helicopter shooting at a dog.
And on top of that, they bring the dog back.
Well, the crew the dog ran to didn't know it was the thing. The Norwegians knew it was the thing, but he died.
Yeah, but go on.
Anyway, we see McCready's crew, the American crew, at their base. McCready's playing chess, and he breaks the chess because he loses. So a loser.
Well, first he gets that victory motion going. He's like, you're slipping. And then she comes back and wins. And he just ruins the machine.
But, and they hear the gunshots, so they go to investigate. Actually, they hear the grenades, because he's also dropping grenades on this dog. They're trying to kill the dog.
Yeah.
But, anyway, they touch down when the dog gets to that base. And he's still, the one guy drops a grenade at his feet, blows himself in the helicopter out. The other guy gets shot in the eye, but not before he shoots one of the Americans in the leg. They're like, what is that about? And McCready takes one of the guys down to the Norwegian base to find out what's going on. And it is a bloodbath. Everyone's dead. You get some great images of blood trickling down and frozen over. They find a big empty block of ice. And then they find this big blobbish creature thing that they take back with them to go study. Meanwhile, we get back to the base and some time is going off. I think I jumped the gun there. I don't think they brought back the blobbish thing until later.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad. But anyway, they go back to the base. You see the dog is exploring the base and everything. And then one of the guys gets upset and he's like, would you go lock the dog up with the other dogs? And so the guy, Clark, takes the dog into the kennels. When he's left alone, the dog's head splits open and the alien comes out. He starts dragging in a dog. He's taking over that dog, and everyone gets alerted, and they come in and they burned.
Yeah, I give the props to the one dog who was trying to escape.
Oh yeah.
That dog was intelligent. It's like he wasn't like screaming. He's like, I'm picking this fence real quick. I'm like, that is the dog you need. Like if you are out there by yourself,
You're stuck in a well. That's the dog you want.
that is the dog you want. That dog was smart enough to, instead of like just howl and get attention that way. That dog's like,
Get out of here.
I'm going. Like you just see that there's something coming out of another dog. I am not screaming. I'm running for my life.
But what's it? That's they see the big blobbish creature, but it splits in half, and one of them runs off, and they manage to kill the bigger blob. And the Doctor Blair ends up doing these experiments on him. He's investigating what this is, and he realizes that this life form can imitate other species it comes in contact with, which is what he was trying to do with the one dog. He was trying to imitate one of their dogs. And then he's running calculations, and it's like, if it gets out, in the likelihood of one of the team being infected was 75%, and if it got out into the mainland, it would be like 27,000 hours.
Yeah.
It's only like a little over 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we jump to see that the blobbish creature was still alive. And it sucks in the one guy, and I believe it's Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to get away, and you see like these alien arms, and it's like, oh! And they burn him and everything else. But now it's become a game of who's who. No one really trusts anybody.
really do like this game.
Yeah.
Because there's one that possesses the knowledge, and then when it gets spread amongst them, which I think in hindsight, after watching, was the thing's plan almost. Because we know where he ended up.
Yeah.
So
and
now
he leaves shredded clothes that says McCready on it to try to put that in their heads that maybe McCready, the guy that they've been looking to for leadership, might be the thing.
Yeah. And then the doctor, points that it's keep an eye on somebody else. And
Clark.
Because
he's the guy handling the dogs and everything.
Yeah, and he's been exposed to me.
Well, that's after Blair breaks all their shit.
Yeah.
Stop. But because Clark won't let Blair won't let this get out, so he's broken the sleds. He's killed all the rest of the dogs. He's destroyed the helicopter. He's destroyed communications. No one's getting out.
And that was the plan.
Yeah.
Because once the thing took over Blair was the good guy here, and he was solving everything, and the thing knew.
But then McCready comes up with a plan after there was an incident with the one Gary maybe, and he sees that any part of this gets attacked will defend itself, so it comes up with this blood test, and the blood test, everyone's like wondering if it's real, then he tests one, and it freaks out, and the one becomes the monster, and it's great scene.
Yes.
But then...
And then poor Clark was innocent.
Oh yeah, Clark was shot in the head.
McCready was like, ah, bam!
That's not why. He came at him with a scalpel.
Yeah, but he went for the kill shot. He went for that kill shot because it was planted in his head that Clark was the suspicious one.
Well, all of them are coming. Well, yeah, that is true. But they're also all coming from McCready because he's got the stick of dynamite before that.
I totally get it. But like I said, he took the kill shot at Clark because Blair kept watch Clark. And then when he was like, now that makes you a murderer.
Yeah. Charles doesn't believe the blood tests at all until he tests Clark's blood. He's like, that makes you a murderer. So you didn't believe this test a minute ago, buddy.
Yeah. But until you seen something else pop out of the blood, yeah, I guess so.
But and like Chad said that, but they're going to leave McCready outside to freeze to death.
Yes.
But anyway, they go to give Blair the blood test, but Blair's gone. He's been building a spaceship in the basement. And then the power goes out, they lose heating, and the thing is going to put everyone back on ice, and he's going back to sleep until the rescue team arrives. So they start blowing up buildings. They're like, none of us are getting out of here. We're just going to make sure that thing dies in the process.
Yeah.
But McCready manages. Everyone else falls, and it's down to then McCready blows up the giant blob monster, and just McCready left, and then Childs walks over, and that leaves you on the question of who is the thing and who is human.
Yeah, yeah.
This was great.
And the best part of the finishing up, the best part was with that particular scene was it ends.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we're just going to sit here and die, and we'll figure it out. So like they know because the temperatures are dropping dramatically. There's no heat, and there's a good chance by the time the rescue team gets there, they're going to be long gone dead. They've accepted it, but it leaves you guessing.
Yeah, one of them was the thing just going back to sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot of theories about that. As McCready hands him the bottle of booze, and how willingly he just drinks it, and it might have just been gas because they were using those bottles from the Molotovs.
Oh yeah.
Which is why Childs knows, or McCready knows Childs is the thing because he just drank gas. But that's just the theory.
But you know what? Like when a movie ends like that, where they don't finish the ending, it's a cliffhanger ending.
Yeah.
You get to come up with these ideas and like, maybe there was, yeah, because they were using those bottles for gas. You know, was it? I actually thought that. I legitimately thought that. I'm like, he's testing him.
Yeah.
Because like even the Grady, like he gave like a smirk, like there was a hint that was not alcohol.
Yeah.
That
but then again, McCready is an alcoholic. He could have saved a bottle of alcohol.
And that is true too. I mean, then again, he wasted it some on the computer.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that computer was cheating though.
It's a computer.
I did see someone said the computer made a move it's not supposed to, but that doesn't mean anything either. Obviously, that move was important. It won the computer the game.
So, one, I will say...
This was a fun ride. Psychological horror in this was excellent.
Yeah, I did love the twist. I actually, it was crazy. Like, I was even sucked into that Blair made me have, like, just a psychological episode.
Yeah.
I was not pegging him to be the thing. Until the very end of the film. I love the good twist. I love the chess match with each other's, who do you trust? You are alone. No, he was alone. It was a good going back and forth.
Now, someone pointed out when did Blair get infected? And someone pointed out it was when he put the pencil on the thing.
Okay.
That was the frozen carcass kind of deal. He was autopsying. You see him put the eraser on the body.
Yeah.
I don't think he put that eraser on the body. If you look at the shadow, that shadow is hovering.
Right.
So I don't think he actually put the eraser on the body.
But you know what? It made sense at some point that he was going to be the infected one.
Yeah.
Because he was examining these bodies.
Yeah. It could have happened at any point during the examination.
Yeah. There's, obviously, like, yeah, that's a plot hole. But also to fill that plot hole in is that he was examining these bodies by himself. It could have literally happened at any given time prior to him breaking down.
There was someone who tried. There was a plot hole. I thought it was a bit of a plot hole too. It was how did the thing get the keys to the blood?
Yeah.
That's not a plot hole. There is a moment that explains how the thing got the keys. Because Childs and the captain of the base are the only ones with keys.
Yeah.
But when Palmer is infected, you hear Childs drop his keys on the ground. That's how he ends up with the keys. Childs drops his keys.
Gotcha.
Or not Childs, Palmer? I think it was Palmer.
Yeah.
It's not Childs. I got that wrong. It's Palmer.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Now.
There's so much in this movie. You watch it every time you find something new.
And this was my first time watching. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
Give it your grade.
Oh, S tier. This is God tier movie. But like 5 years ago, when you had me doing the vlogs, I did 14 movies to watch during Halloween. This was number one.
I'm honestly going to give it probably like an 85%. I like the practical effects, but at the same time, I thought they were like...
Oh, the practical effects are amazing. Don't you dare.
They were
Don't
just
you dare.
slightly
I'll
off.
fight you here.
It was like a little
Fighting
slow.
will occur.
A little slow. I didn't have a super problem with them, but I still caught that. I did love the ending, the cliffhanger ending.
What? It's slimy. It's gross. It's what is that thing? When they're given the CPR, and his chest opens up and eats his arms.
So it's safe to say that we're both picking the remake.
The remake, yeah.
Even though, like, honestly, we disagree on how we grading them, but at the same time, you gave the original a B,
Yeah.
and you're giving this one a. So we're both agreeing that the remake is significantly better by at least 2 grades.
No, I mean, yeah, I figure it might be 2 grades, but I'm putting a B on the original, and I'm putting the remake in God tier.
And God tier is
Just how much of a jump that is.
we don't give too many S's out.
I give a lot of S's.
Yes,
now.
he does. He really does. If it's entertaining to him, nothing else matters.
Damn straight. I mean, isn't the point of movie watching to be entertained?
Yes, that's why it's 2 of us that does this show, because one's just entertained, other one looks for the writing and all of the effects. He just wants to be entertained.
Damn straight. That's 4 again.
So that puts the remakes. The remakes are no doubt running away with this at this point.
Yeah, they are. They're running away. And it might actually grow. I'm very interested in the next month's
And
Piranha.
Piranha. That will be the next original versus remake. Until next time. Bye-bye.